hermit crab, searching for my first shell. Let me tell you all about it. Are you videotaping me right now? You are an asshole muncher.
Ew.
First, did you know that hermit crabs aren't born with a shell? I didn't
Really?
know that.
You didn't know that, really?
No.
I didn't know that either.
When
Oh,
we're
yeah, how
still
would they-
just little hermit crabs,
They have
our
to find
parents
one.
send us out to select a shell. It's not hard for us to find one. There are shells all around for us to choose from. I was given this advice. Don't get one too small or too big. I thought that was all I needed to know.
I need to know which way it hangs.
That is not true. You are stupid. My first shell was not too small or too big. It fit me just right. I liked the color and thought I'd live in that shell for a long time. Finding a good shell was easy. I was wrong. Not me, the hermit crab was wrong. Not long after I got my first shell, a terrible wind started blowing. I could hear the wind howling outside my shell. It was loud and I had to hold tight to a branch.
Where are their branches?
I don't know. I got deep in my shell and figured I was safe. Then, before I knew it, something terrible happened.
What happened, Joe? I mean, Hermie. Whatever your name is.
My shell blew right off!
Oh!
I never saw it again. It's not funny. The wind was very strong and I had not taken any action to protect my house. When the storm died down, I had no choice but to search for a new and hopefully better shell. Soon, I found a new shell. Or maybe it's over here. I liked it a lot. This would be a good home, I thought. This time, though, I would make sure it stayed on during strong winds. I applied hurricane straps and took other steps to protect my shell from the wind. I was very happy. My new home was snug and safe.
Why are you talking like that?
Or so I thought, because the snail is talking about hurricane straps, like it knows what the fuck they are.
It's not a snail, it's a hermit crab.
Then one day, a terrible rain fell. It rained and rained. Sounds like, never mind. It seemed like days went by. I stayed in my shell and was warm and dry. For a while. Then the water rose and the next thing I knew, my neighborhood was underwater.
Oh, I thought he was already underwater.
He is in a shell. It's not a neighborhood. This is weird. And then the floodwaters swept into my shell and covered it in mud. It was a mess, and I wasn't happy about it. I had to leave my shell and look for a new one again. I bet you didn't know being a hermit crab was this much trouble. I was determined to learn my lessons well and pick the perfect shell. I could not be a kindergarten teacher.
No, you get
Nope.
paper cuts all over your face, flipping the book around.
And this time, I took steps to protect it from high winds and floods. I was happy again. No hurricane, no tornado, and no flood could damage my shell. Being a hermit crab wasn't so bad after all. Well, you keep saying that and you keep getting proven wrong, so what the fuck is your problem? All was well for a while. Then one day, the ground shook. The ground rumbled and shifted underneath me.
Where
I
does he
didn't know
live?
what to do. What? Yes, Emily.
Where does he live?
He lives in his shell.
No,
He's
where-
had to get a fucking new one 3 times already.
No, but does he live on the earth? Or on underwater?
No, this is an alien hermit
No,
crab.
on land or underwater.
Oh, well, this is a ladder, and you can only have those. Those are weeds.
Yeah, well, SpongeBob lives under the water.
Oh my god, that so annoys me when they have fires in
Yeah.
Bikini Bottom. I'm like, really?
Or when they drink water in Bikini Bottom.
Oh my
They have
god, I
birthday
hate
showers.
it.
How does that happen?
I hate it so much. It's so annoying. Okay. All was well for a while. Then one day the ground shook. The ground rumbled and shifted underneath me. I didn't know what to do. I stayed in my shell and hoped for the best. But it was not to be. Things began to tumble around me and something landed on me. There was a huge crack in my shell, and suddenly I could see outside. This was terrible, and I was very mad. Why did things keep happening to me? Because you are fucking retarded. So when I went looking for yet another new shell,
Oh my god.
I made sure it was not too big, it was not too small, it was windproof, it was floodproof, and it was earthquake-proof. I checked and double-checked my shell. I read reports that taught me how to become disaster-resistant. Some of the things were simple and others were a bit harder, and I had to ask for help. But all in all, it wasn't difficult. And it was well worth the time and trouble. Finally, I was safe in my shell. Oh my god, if something else happens to him. The wind blew hard, but my shell stayed on. The high water came, but my shell stayed dry, and when the ground shook, my shell stayed in one place. Being a hermit crab was good again. I settled down to have a nice life. How could I know what was ahead? I was having a barbecue with some of my friends.
So he doesn't live under water.
Apparently not. It was a nice summer day, and we were having a good time. All of a sudden, my shell caught on fire. I didn't have a fire extinguisher, and I had not taken precautions to cut back dry brush around my neighborhood. I had to run out of my shell and leave it behind. It was a total loss, and I was very sad.
What the fuck is wrong with this hermit crab?
Your guess is as good as mine. My special shell, which I had worked so hard on, was ruined yet again. So this time, when I looked for my new shell for hopefully the last effing time, I made sure it was not too big, not too small, windproof, waterproof, earthquake-proof, and fireproof.
You say fire weird.
Fire.
Fire.
Fire. And I knew I was safe, and had learned my lessons well. My shell was completely disaster resistant. You better be right this time. But then I realized...
I swear to God.
Huh?
There's gonna be an electrical storm, I swear.
Oh God. I hope not. But then I realized that other hermit crabs didn't know what I had learned. And other people, like you, didn't know what I'd learned either. That's why I'm speaking out. I had learned about the importance of being disaster-proof from FEMA. Alright, I'm fucking done with this book. FEMA, we're done.